What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Courtyard Shenanigans with your boy Classy Ant. It's me. It is he. What's my name? Anthony. Listen, like I told y'all on the episode I recorded before this, I ain't doing all that extra at the beginning of the episodes. I ain't even got a new cover for y'all because, like I said, what I have to say is bigger and better than all the extra and all the covers. But like I said, I'm still gonna give y'all the classy tip of the week. So, real quick before we get into the episode that is titled, I had to do what I had to do. Now that's a word already right there. But the classy tip of the week is drink water. Stop going to the bathroom and your pee smells like the milk left behind in cereal because you're eating too much sugar. Let your pee come out clear instead of gold. And drink water. Stay hydrated. It is very hot, especially in Texas. Listen, y'all. When I say it is hot, this weather make you just want to go and slap somebody across the face. But I ain't gonna do it. Make you just want to grab the sun out the sky and throw it in the trash. But we need the sun. So therefore, we got to deal with the heat. So make sure y'all drink some water and stay hydrated because it is hot. I don't know where you live and where you listen to this, but I know in Dallas, Texas, it's hot. And then it's very humid too. Listen, I'm getting mad talking about it. Let's get into the episode. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into the topic. The title of this week's episode is, well, you've already seen it. I had to do what I had to do. And let me tell you what I had to do. I came up with this episode because, I would just sit. I think I heard this in the shower. I don't remember. But I was just like, I had to do what I had to do. I had to do this so I can let go of that. I had to get this so I can get my peace. I had to do that so I can get the friends I've been praying for. You know what I'm saying? So I had to do what I had to do. I had to do what I had to do when I had to apologize to people. I had to put that pride to the side. And even if they felt, like I said on last episode, even if they felt like they didn't need an apology, I had to put my pride to the side. So when I have to really give somebody an apology who really feels like they need an apology from me, I give them that apology. You know what I'm saying? Months ago, and I'm finna put y'all in my business, I had started at my job. Wow. I've been at that job for a year now. But this is probably about maybe a month or two after I started the job. Anywho, I was very standoffish to my manager at the time because people just get on my nerves with just the craziest things. But I'm better now. And I was rude. I'm going to keep it real. And I said, you know what? Let me stop being rude. Let me stop being standoffish. And I apologized to him. I apologize to him for being standoffish, for being rude, for being dry. I had to do that. I had to put my pride to the side and I had to stop being so guarded. Everybody has a guard. We all keep our guard up. I know I keep mine up at all times for the most part. I'm trying to get better, but you got to watch people. You know what I'm saying? But we're not even going to get into that. So yeah, I had to do what I had to do. I had to put my guard down and I had to apologize to him, to his face. Shake his hand and, put that pride to the side and be like, Anthony, stop being rude, stop being mean, and just be you. I had to let go of certain friendships. I had to let certain friendships fade away so I could get the new friendships that I had been praying for. I got all this old stuff in the way. And I got all this old stuff, all these old friends. And I'm not even going to say old friendships, but I'm just going to say how I feel it. Old friendships that's just in the way, just in the way. They're just taking up space. Because a lot of people that are in our lives, and I'll say my life as well, they have no more substance in our life. They have, I don't want to say fulfilled their purpose, but it ain't. Our friendship in 2023 ain't what it was in 2020. When we first met in, say, 2007, that same spark, that same exciting friendship is not here in 2023. And that is okay. Some people's assignment in your life is just for them to be there for 16 years, but not 16 years in one day. You know what I'm saying? So I had to let go of certain friendships. I had to let certain things just, I won't say fall apart, but fall apart or lay by the wayside. I had to do it, because I'm praying to God and asking for for friendships with men, guy friendships, things like that. But I'm asking God for this, but I'm not moving in a way that I should have been moving. I should have, took my hand out of things and just let God. What Sister Christy always tell me, let God work. Let God be God. He don't need no help. Okay? And I'm preaching to myself right now. He don't need no help. So with that being said, I had to let go of certain friendships and certain things and certain situations and certain things from my past in order for me to make friends with men. Because if I be honest, my main issue in my life has always been being friends with men. I never found comfort in being friends with other men because when I was in school, elementary, middle school, intermediate school, high school, even sometimes an adult, which I don't care about. Nevertheless, I never made friends with guys, and I wanted that, but I always made friends with the girls. The girls always wanted to be my friends, and I ended up being their friends. And over time, I just got adjusted to having women friends. But last year, things started to change. I started to crave being friends with men. Having guy friends, having people that can come over and play the game with me. Because ain't no girl finna come over here and play the game with me and want to play WWE or any other kind of game. Ain't no girl gonna want to just really sit and walk in the heat and go to Traders Village. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no girl. They gonna want to go to the mall. But when I went to the mall a couple months ago, my homeboys Cal and Frank, and Frank's friend Lucy, we was walking around the mall to kill time because we was finna go in there and jump around like the big kids we are. If I go to the mall with one of my women friends, they just gonna want to walk around and shop and talk about people. And it's two out of those three things I don't want to do, which is walk and shop. Because listen, I still need my deliverance from talking about people. It's hard, y'all. It's hard. Because if I see somebody and they walk by and they look like a Scooby-Doo character, I'ma tell somebody and I'ma laugh. Like, dang, that person looks like the man from Cyber Chase. Anywho. Some things just have to die. Some friendships have to die. Some things have to fade away, because if in life you evolve, you have to evolve. If you stay the same person, it's 2023, but you're still the same person that you was in 2015, you are stagnant, and you're going to forever be stagnant until you start to allow God to elevate you, to push you to a greater level. A lot of people don't like to be pushed. I don't mind being pushed. Now, sometimes the push do be hard. The push be hard sometimes. But, we have to embrace change. I remember people used to always be saying they don't like change. Even as a kid, I used to hear people say, I don't like change. But I love change. I remember, and I'm not as bad as I am now, but I remember like in my high school years, my room would be changed almost every week because I like my room to have a different feel. I like to move my room around. When I get my own house, when I get my high rise in downtown Dallas in my condo, my house gonna be probably, rearranged every other week because I like change. I like freshness. And sometimes change is uncomfortable, but we have to change to mature, to grow, for us to be able to apologize to people like I do, for us to be able to recognize our faults, for us to be able to get the things that God has for us. You can't be the same. Let me tell you something. You can't get a 2023 blessing when you stuck in 2015. Straight up. You can't. You cannot get a 2023 blessing when you stuck in 2015. It ain't gonna work. It ain't. Your mindset has to change, okay? But First Lady said something in church. I cannot remember, so I'm gonna skip on right on through it. But if it comes back to my head, I'm gonna come back to it. But yeah, I had to do what I had to do to get those guy friends. I had to do what I had to do to be able to hang out with Cal and Frank and all the other people that I socialize with now. My appetite started to change. I no longer want to sit and watch the Bad Girls Club. I might watch a clip on TikTok or something because it's funny. I no longer really just want to sit and watch the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I might, Nene funny, but my appetite changed. I much rather, well, I've always wanted to watch wrestling, but I much rather sit and watch Dragon Ball Z and watch Cell and Goku and Frieza and Krillin and Yamcha, Kakarot, Vegeta. If Kakarot and Goku is the same person, by the way, so don't try me, okay? I'd rather watch people turn into Super Saiyans, you know what I'm saying, than people turning and flipping tables on each other. That used to be funny to me. But guess what? You know why it's not funny? Because I'm not the same person that I was in 2016, 17, 18. My appetite changed. I allowed God to let me grow. God helped me grow. So, you got to do what you got to do. Seriously. I had to do what I had to do, and I had to shut my mouth. My mouth gets me in so much trouble, y'all. It's ridiculous. Because I'm the person who just says exactly what is on their mind. And I really mean no harm by some of the things I say. I really don't. But I had to start shutting up. And I'm still struggling with that on the day of June 19th, 2023. My mouth is just as reckless as it was in June 19th, 2007. That's why I got that referral in 4th grade. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning to shut up. I'm having to shut up. I had to do what I had to. Listen, our mouths get us in trouble, and my mouth gets me in trouble. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not gonna speak for y'all. I'm gonna speak for me right now. Because look, I speak my mind, and I speak it a little bit too much at times. But I just believe in standing up for myself. And if I feel like something is not right, I'm going to say something. But I have to sit and just shut up. I had to shut up. When I started to shut up, things started to work in my favor. Like I said, I still struggle with it. But like First Lady said, it's a struggle because you want to get out of it. And I have been shutting up lately. And there's been times where I shut up and things work out for me. I don't have to tell everybody what I'm doing. When I came out with this podcast season 4, I didn't announce it on Facebook and tell people, hey, a new season coming out May, June, whatever the first episode came out. No, I just released it. If you listen, you listen. You don't. But I don't have to open my mouth all the time. I need to open my mouth. I always ask God, just guide my mouth for me. That's it. Guide my mouth. Not that's it, but guide my mouth for me. Because my mouth gets me in trouble. My main thing that I got in trouble in school for was talking too much. The main thing I get in trouble for now at work, at any job, in my current job, is that I talk a lot. And I'm not going to... let me stop saying I'm not going to talk because it's going to contradict what I just said. But I'm trying, I'm trying to stop talking so much. Everybody doesn't need to know my business. Everybody doesn't need to know why I'm taking off. I'm taking off because I want. I'm taking off because I'm taking off. Whether I'm staying at home or if I'm going to a doctor's appointment, I'm taking off. That's all you need to know. Get out my business, okay? So, I had to shut up because people do be watching. There are people who monitor you. But they call them monitoring spirits, but we're not even going to speak with that because first of all, I'm in this den. It's 12:52 a.m. and I'm the only one up, so I don't even have time to be talking about spirits, okay? But I had to do what I had to do, and I had to shut my mouth, and I'm shutting my mouth. I'm learning how to, because it's a struggle, trust me. Because I'll go in the break room and I'll say something so offensive, and everybody at the table looking at me like I'm crazy, and I just keep talking as if I didn't say something offensive. So I'm learning to shut up, and I'm learning to move in silence. When I got my car, let me tell you something. I just share this with y'all. When I got my car, before I got my new car, I sold my old car before I got the new car. I didn't tell people that I was going to get a new car. I sold the car, and 2 days later, I had a new car. And I got on Facebook and posted that I got a car. But before that, I didn't tell people on Facebook who pray for me that I get this car. I hope I get this car. People around me knew, like my mama and maybe some of my coworkers, that I had questions because it was my first time ever buying a car. Because my first car was my mama's car. She let me have it. My second car was a cash car. I paid $2,000 for that car, and it was mine. But actually going to a car lot I had never experienced. you know. So of course I had to ask people questions and stuff. But as far as like people on social media, Instagram, Facebook, friends, nothing like that, nobody knew. I didn't go in there and say, pray that I get this new car, or I'm going to the car lot, let's hope I didn't do that. I moved in silence. And God was telling me this, just move in silence. And that's what I did. And I got that car. And of course, I put it on Facebook and told everybody I got a car. But before I got it, nobody knew. I had to shut my mouth because my mouth could have sabotaged what God had for me. Come on, somebody. And you know what? It's crazy to have some faith. You got to have some crazy faith to sell your current car before you even get approved. I didn't even get approved to even get a car off the lot. I just sold my car, just holding on to the faith and holding on to the prophecy that I was going to get a new car by the end of the year. Ain't that something? That's faith for real. I had faith. But God had to build my faith. God had to do what he had to do to build my faith, because last year I was alive. I was just alive, but I wasn't alive and kicking. So God had to build. It's kind of tied into what First Lady spoke in on church. I don't even want to get all into that because I don't want this episode to be too long. But, God, I don't want to feel like I'm still in her sermon. I'm just going to skip over that. Nevertheless, God had to do what he had to do to build me up and to get me to where I am now. Straight up. A mature Anthony. A growing Anthony. An Anthony who wants to be set free from strongholds. An Anthony who wants to help people. An Anthony who wants peace in his mind. An Anthony who wants to stop being his own worst enemy. An Anthony who wants to shut his mouth and just let things work out. Because I trip over the smallest things and my mind gets it going. And I make one thing be a whole nother thing that is not. So I'm sorry, y'all. Because I'm recording this episode, but I have wrestling playing in the background, and Kane did something that was funny. But I had to do what I had to do. I had to let go of certain people. I had to let go of certain things. I had to go through what I had to go through last year to get to where I am now. Look at me now. I was just alive last year, but now I'm alive and kicking. I'm stronger now even after everything that she did. That's my song, baby. That's my song for real. But listen, I had to let that hurt go from my past. I had to let that hurt go from the names that people used to call me when I was a kid. From even adults saying things and kids saying things. Because kids, we gonna be kids. We gonna say things. But stuff stick with you. Some words stick with you. Especially when it's an adult. You know what I'm saying? Saying it to a kid. That stuff sticks with you and it stays in your mind. But I had to let that stuff go in order for me to make friends with men. Because I honestly got tired and am tired of hanging out with just women. That's why I'm always hanging out with my homeboy Cal. Or hanging out with Cal and Frank and Lucy. I got tired of hanging out with women. I'm tired of hanging out with women. I have nothing in common with a woman. We might have the same skin with a woman. We might have the same skin color, nothing like that. But I much rather sit and conversate with my coworker Filippo instead of my coworker Abigail or something. I'm just saying names. And those are real people, but I'm just giving an example. Where me 3 years ago, I would have not talked to Filippo and I would have just talked to Abigail. But God switched me. He changed me. He turned me. He had to do what he had to do for me to get to where I am now. And I'm grateful for that. So I had to let that hurt go. I had to let go of certain names and terms that people would call me. And now when I think about it, does it still bother me? If I be honest, on a scale of 1 to 10, if I think about it just randomly, it'll bother me. It's a very strong 3, low 4. To being bothering me, but it doesn't bother me as much as it did because now I'm beyond that. That's not who I am. That's never who I was. So I'm not going to claim it or walk in it, and I'm not going to let anybody define who I am. How about that? Now I just felt that because I sit up real tall in this chair, but I felt that nobody's going to define me. The only person that defines me is the man who wakes me up every morning. God. Whoever God says I am, that's exactly who I am. And I don't care what nobody got to say about me at all. I don't care. People, I know what's going to happen as I continue to evolve and grow and progress in life and step into my calling. People are going to try to, I'm kind of getting off topic, but I already see it, they're going to try to throw my past in my face. They're going to try to be like, well, aren't you this? But didn't you say you this? Or didn't you used to do that? And that, to be honest, I'm not ready for. But God is He's building me up. He's either building me up now or wanting to start to build me up to be able to take that, But I know that's going to happen. But at the end of the day, like I said, I know who I am. I know what I want. I know what I should have been doing. And that's why I'm here now. I shouldn't have been doing certain things. That's why I'm here now, and I'm being redeemed. I have been redeemed. What that means, say, don't bring up my past, because Jesus already cleared those charges for me. Those charges is clear. They have been expunged. Okay, So I kind of got off topic, but I had to do what I had to do. I had to let that hurt go to be able to hang out with the people who hurt me the most when I was a kid. And that was men. That was from when I was a boy, it was boys. When I was a man, it was men. So I'm saying boys, man. It's all the same. A boy turns into a man. But at the end of the day, I had to let all that go in order for me to get what God had been praying. I've been praying to God for. How is God going to bless me with those kind of friendships when I'm holding on to hurt from those same exact people? So I start to treat them how I used to be treated. Not calling them certain names, but I would be standoffish to them and rude to them because I'm like, you're going to do me this like the rest of them did. So no, God had to build me up, help me let it go, forgive them, forgive those things. No, that's not me. That's never who that was never who I was. That was a false identity. Who I am now, that's who I am. So thank you, God, for the appetite change. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had to apologize. I had to shut up. I had to let that hurt go. So I had to let some people go. Because I felt like in certain friendships, and this is my podcast, I felt like in certain friendships, I was frustrated, but I stayed because everybody else turned their backs on them. Everybody else left them. I was the only person constantly there for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 8 years, 13 years. I was there constantly for them. But in those 1 years, those 2 years, those 5 years, those 8 years, and those 13 years, they weren't there for me. They thought they was. And some people don't even know that they're not being a really great friend. And, they just don't know it. But it comes to a point where you just kind of get frustrated. You get frustrated and you're tired of sitting on the phone and you get tired of hearing everything that they're going through. And they're complaining about trivial things. They're complaining about trivial things and things that are fixable. Things that if they just get out of the relationship, stop talking to the person, they'll be okay. They're complaining to you about that, but they don't even know in your mind, like I said last year, my mind last year, every time I talk about it, it me. It me. Seriously, I get about it. You talking to me about a man and all this kind of stuff and about whatever you're mad about. But you don't know that in my mind, I'm struggling. I'm trying to sleep in as long as I can, just so I won't have to deal with these tormenting thoughts that I didn't understand. So that's when I knew, this has got to go. I have to change this. I had to do what I had to do. In that moment, I had to do what I had to do. And I was like, nah, this ain't gonna work. You complained about this, you complained about that. And even when I bring up my situation to you, you don't care. You stay on it for about 2-3 seconds and it's back to you. So I had to let some people go. And was it hard? Yes, is it hard at times? Yes. Do I want to call people sometimes? Yes. But at the end of the day, these people didn't call you to congratulate you on your new car. These people didn't call you to check on you when you was going through in your mind. These people didn't call you they didn't even listen. Listen, we finna move on. Because now I'm getting mad. I'm not finna get mad because I'm trying to grow. But at the end of the day, I had to do what I had to do. I had to focus on the people who were supporting me, the people who were proud of me, the people who were recognizing my growth. And like I said, I'm not growing for people to recognize me growing. I'm growing for me. But it feels good when people be like, you know what, you've changed. I got one of the best compliments. I have 2 compliments that I hold on to and that I've gotten my entire life. And one of them was what my homeboy / co-worker Filippo at work said. He listened to my first episode of this season, Alive and Kicking, and he said, wow man, that was really good. The person that you described yourself as, like the old you, I can't even imagine you being him. That was one of the best compliments I've ever received, because I never want to be that person again that I used to be, that I was. I never will be him, thank God. He's calling my name sometimes, but I'm glad that people see that on me, and I'm glad that sometimes I feel like I'm not growing, and then I get reminded, oh yeah, you are, because you definitely would have responded different to this, or you definitely would have left work early this day, or you definitely would have quit that job at that moment and got you another job the next day. I've stood still, even when I didn't feel like standing still at times. Sometimes I do move because I'm a busybody, and then I mess up. But when I stand still, when I had to stand still, when I really, really knew I had to stand still, I stood still. I had to do what I had to do. So I'm just grateful that I'm not that old Anthony. I'm so grateful. Sometimes I think about the things that I used to say, that I used to engage in, that used to get me like excited and happy, and I literally cringe. I scream, and I just be like, ugh, like I can't stand him. I can't stand him. So I just think about the people I even used to be around and entertain and let be in my space, and I just be like, ugh. Those people didn't mean you no good. Those people did not mean you no good. What they wanted to do was suck the life out of you. They wanted to take your energy. They wanted to take your personality. They wanted to take my personality and make it theirs. So they had to overcompensate and try to get the attention on them. But little did they know it never worked, because those people remember everything that I say. They remember nothing that you said. Because you know why they don't remember nothing? You know why they don't remember anything what you said? Because what you said is what I would say. So it all goes back to me. And I'm not glorifying myself, but this is just what it is. I remember, and I'm sorry, I'm getting off track again. I remember in 10th grade, I was 16 years young. 15, 16, no, definitely. I was 16 years young. And I remember just walking around the school, me and my friends in the morning, and they'd be like, oh my gosh, Anthony, so-and-so trying to be like you. He want to be like you. And in my little 16-year-old mind, I'm like, ain't nobody trying to be like me. Now, I jokingly say people try to be like me now, but I wasn't even doing that in 2013, 2014. They'll be like, Anthony, he trying to be like you. Like, he trying to do everything you do. And I was just like, nah, that's just him. And then I remember years later, I watched videos on my phone from high school. And I would watch the videos and how we interacted. And I was like, you know what? Wow. Because I remember I said something. I remember like saying something. And then this person came right behind it and said something that didn't even make sense, but just tried to take the attention off of me. Not that I need attention, I just get it. But you just notice things. I'm just like, wow. Like, dang. These people around here really are, I don't want to say trying to beat me, but it's like, ugh. Ugh, that must be my word for today. Ugh, it's just like, dang. I don't know. I mean, you're doing what I do. You're moving the way I move. You're saying what I say. You're trying to copy what I do. Just be you, because one thing I'm going to do is be me. Because I have a freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want. No, I'm just playing. I ain't going to do that to y'all. But yeah, I had to do what I had to do for me to realize those things that I just realized. You know? I had to go through what I had to go through to be able to talk on this podcast right now. Because really, I was kind of running out of ideas on the podcast. But God sent that test and that storm my way last year. And in hindsight, I'm grateful for it. Because it keeps me grounded. Because when I want to step into my flesh and do certain things, I get reminded of that day in June 26, 2022. I get reminded of what I went through after that day. I get reminded of those days where I would try to sleep in. Of those hours of just me just trying to figure out what is going on. What is going on? I get reminded of that stuff. And it puts me back in place. Like I'm sorry, I just had a thought. It's kind of just lined up with First Lady spoke on in church yesterday on Sunday. I get reminded just to stay in my position. And this is exactly what she was talking about at church yesterday. Staying in position. I'm learning to stay in position because the moment I get out of it, warfare comes. Things that shouldn't have happened start to happen, or shouldn't be happening start to happen. So, sometimes I do get out of position. Sometimes I do play music and play things that I shouldn't be playing, or entertaining things and entertaining people and saying crazy things. And then that's when things start to go disarray for me sometimes. And then I'll be like, let me get back into position. Let me get back into praying. Let me get back into doing what God, has called me to do. And I start to feel better. But I had to do what I had to do. And I had to get back in position. So yeah, I didn't want to be too long with this episode. But I just hope y'all know that I had to do what I had to do. And you listening, you better do what you got to do. It's something that you need to do. Something that you need to get rid of. Something that you need to start doing. Something that you need to start working towards. That you need to do. You've been sitting on it and you've been stagnant. And you wonder why things ain't going your way. You wonder why you're not happy. You wonder why you're not at peace. You got to do what you got to do. Figure it out what it is. Even if you don't know what it is, figure it out. It'll work out for you. Ask God. You better fast and talk to God about it. But on that note, this is the end of episode 2 of season 4. I had to do what I had to do. If you're listening to me on Apple Podcasts, leave a rating. Listen to me on Spotify. Good Pies. I'm on YouTube now. See, I thought I was too good for YouTube. Somebody on YouTube needs to hear what I got to say. So I'm on YouTube now. So listen to me on YouTube. My page is Courtyard Shenanigans. I just have like 3 videos posted. I have the most recent podcast episode posted as well on YouTube. So yeah, I'm on YouTube now. And if you feel like blessing the prophet, not calling myself a prophet, it's just a term that people use in church. They bless the prophet. But if you feel like passing the plate and you want to give me some money, just something. If I just helped you and you want to pour into me, if you want to give me $10, I'd take $10 because they got some good old tamales at this grocery store I live by and they be out the chain. I'll buy some tamales with them. But my Cash App is $, Classy Ant 1997. Classy Ant 1997. I am pressuring you. But if you feel it on your heart, go ahead and bless me. Send me something. Just let me know that I helped you, okay? And even if you don't want to send me no money and let me know that you helped me, follow me on Instagram at ClassyAnt_. Now my page is private only because when I make stories, there are a lot of bots that watch my story. And they say inappropriate words and terms. And I got tired of it. So I put my page on private so only my followers that follow me watch my story. But with that being said, I will see y'all next week on another episode of Courtyard Shenanigans, and I will continue to be him, which is me, Anthony. And I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. And happy Monday and happy Juneteenth. And stay safe. Boy, see you next week.